Greetings and well wishes to all. This is an advice specific to the Chief of Accompong, Chief Currie, and also to the Gaza diva, blogger, and others. I'm also addressing some of our brothers and sisters, particularly within the most popular indigenous community, namely Accompong here in Jamaica. I'm suggesting that you stop and discontinue to wash your dirty linen in public, since this behavior only harms us. If you speak of absolute integrity, you need to stop and think carefully. If you continue to speak and advise persons to disassociate themselves from particular persons and entities on account of allegations that have not been proven in a court of law, you are technically making yourself guilty of hypocrisy, among other things. When did we get to a place where we have started to assist the European intelligence, or very colonizers and a noted public enemy with their own criminal justice system? Who prosecuted and charged Marcus Garvey for fraud? It's important to remind ourselves of this history, lest we forget and begin to present ourselves as pawns at the feet of our enemies. On account of real crimes committed against African people and their descendants, some came to be known as Maroons, Moors, and other names that but we are Africans first. And division is an age-old war tactic designed deliberately to control us. Of this fact, we need to wake up. While integrity is a good thing, we must be careful of impulsive behaviors and speeches that can paint us within the space of hypocrisy and even being naive. You need to stop for a moment and balance the equation before you step out and address the public. If you care to be remembered as a leader with integrity. Please note, well-meaning people do sometimes or occasionally make unwise decisions, and there is no exception to this. I'm advising you to leave the matter of this European player alone. The matter of Jan Marsalek is none of our business, in addition to the fact that this man did not get his day in court. So it is hypocritical to expect the law to work for us and not for others. The law says every man is innocent until proven guilty, and we need to respect this. As we want for ourselves, let us want the same for others. The former chief and associates cannot be made guilty of corruption or criminality by association with a man that has not been proven guilty of anything. We, to include yourself, have shoved under the rug the greatest atrocities in human history that our people experienced, with mounting evidence that no court in Jamaica or anywhere, particularly on behalf of the Jamaican people, has sought justice for. To note, the economic structure of the world was not built on integrity. And if you know some of our history, you will know that our ancestors' blood and sweat was used to build it all. As a matter of fact, some would reason that Marsalek's actions depict a universal law playing out, that is, cause and effect. Others could also reason that our ancestors' spirit is behind persons like Marsalek, as they divided us, conquered and continue to rule us to this day. It takes people like Marsalek to bring disruption within their system, as they have done to us, without justice being served to them on our behalf. Please note that I don't support any criminal behavior, though even the term criminal is relative. Be careful, because one could view your interaction and association with those who you have referred to as unscrupulous and criminal, as you also being unscrupulous and criminal. If the system we benefit from that was created on criminal activities and has continued to this day along that same path, also that to this day has only received verbal apology and with no prosecution and criminal justice being served. What or how do you see yourself after accepting millions from that system as a handout, often with a patronizing element? If the core of the same system that we all use is corrupt, and you use it anyway, why would you be trying to crush the new Lumi economic system that we're trying to create? That is at the core means liberating our people from the age-old European economic system. If the underlying plans are pure and with no scamming or unscrupulous intentions to harm our people, wherever the financing comes from to achieve our dream or goal of freedom should not make headlines any more than the governor generals who have worn symbols depicting our enemies standing in our necks as a people. Politicians we call our own have repeatedly exploited us and swindled billions of taxpayers' hard-earned money, yet they are the ones that control our justice system. What are we left to do? They are the ones you tagged, expecting to bring negative attention to your brother who tried to do something brilliant and positive for our people, regardless of how he figured it could be possibly be funded. It is still a family matter that involved a pure movement that stands to liberate black people economically. Due diligence may not have been exercised, but that does not take away from the value Lumi brings, and no one involving the creation of Lumi is wanted or implicated in anything illegal to date. You believe you have done due diligence to declare your funding pure and clean, but the source of your funding comes from the global criminal ring that exploited us as a people, profited and continue to profit. The Queen that sits as our head of state and many other countries around the world is known to be affiliated and even responsible for criminal acts against us that affected our ancestors directly and continue to affect us psychologically and physically. Maybe you should tag Interpol for that, but they would probably give you a pathetic apology and tell you and your people to get over it. It being kidnapping, murders, rapes, inhumane torture, genocides of its worst proportions in all of our history. But we must get over it nevertheless and stop whining over something you will never get justice for. You're fooling yourself if you're going to be isolating yourself and the people you claim to govern. Maroons are Africans first, and they by themselves cannot conquer the enemy alone. I urge you to stop separating yourself from the global African family, continent and diaspora alike, since there is no wisdom in doing this. There is such a thing as beating the enemy at its own game, but this cannot involve division among us. If we continue to allow this division to be our way forward, then unfortunately, we are helping our enemy to conquer us all over again. Let us love ourselves, our people, and freedom more than we practice hatefulness toward each other. This is our only hope. Thank you for listening.